So, there's 2 more anime vids I gotta do. This one, which I'm currently doing, and another one, I wanna do it about like anime villains. I haven't found the video yet, but I'm looking for it because I saw a bunch of tier lists on Twitter about like anime villains. And there's a lot of anime villains I really like and a lot that I really don't like, and I would love to talk about it. But I did this video about isekai a couple of days ago, and somebody said you gotta do one about shonen, and you're right, I do. I don't talk about shonen anime that much because it feels like the default anime. You know, the shonen has been popular for like a very long time as like a genre. I now don't really know the terminology as much with anime, but I do know that this is basically the genre of every freaking anime. So this is the king of shonen. It's by a review channel that we do really enjoy here, so let's get into it, man. I don't even know what anime it's about. It's just the king of shonen. So I'm actually even interested in what anime this is about. But yeah, let's get into it. For
over 10 years now, one anime would crush the #1 spot on my anime list and park its ass there. Gintama, Clannad, Steins Gate, Your Name, Fruits Basket, Monogatari all sat at the throne at one point, just to meet the same fate as everyone else. Full Metal Alchemist, a show made 13 years ago, would smack that shit to the bottom time and time again. What's so special about Full Metal Alchemist? How is it that every time a show surpasses it in rankings, this show pulls through? The truth is, they cheated. Yeah. Anytime a show passes it on my anime list, the fan base gets together and is like, fuck that show. But that ain't the whole story, is it? The truth is, Full Metal Alchemist isn't up there because it's objectively the best anime ever made, or just because the fan base downvotes anything else. It's there because 99% of people look at that and go, yeah, not just because the fan base is retarded. And believe me, that was my first guess. Whether you like it or not, Full Metal Alchemist has been unofficially crowned the king of shonen, and I intend to show you exactly why.
It's not hard.
Alchemy is the science that allows one to create nearly anything in exchange for something of equal value.
But look at this intro of just the scenes one more time. Let's slow it down actually a little bit, dude. If this doesn't already give you feels that you're about to go into the occult or the unknown, look at these clips. Look at these clips, bro. Doesn't this already get you hyped up? Look at this. So nice, dude.
In exchange for something of equal value. Alchemists can remodel cars, create weapons, or even flames by harnessing the power of the world. If only I had this ability. All right. 3, 2,
what?
1.
Freeze! Put your hands where I can see. Oh.
Mother of God.
Not the music.
It's all made of cheese. Yes, I'm quite aware. But why would you...
Did you draw this?
That's not the question you should be asking, officer. The question is, what haven't I cheesed? The joke is that I used alchemy to turn everything into cheese.
Thanks, bud.
There's one fundamental restriction of alchemy,
take you?
one that 2 brothers, Edward and Alphonse, crossed. They tried to bring back the dead. In the process, their bodies are stolen from them, and they venture out into the world to find a philosopher's stone, the one thing that can bypass equivalent exchange and get their bodies back. That's kind of what it's about. Full Metal Alchemist is like one of them clown napkins. For most of the show, we're here in Amestris. It's got tons of German influences, like their names, Alphonse, Olivier, Biesenhauer, Führer.
Biesenhauer.
The Ishvalans are a proud people that barely scrape by to retain their culture and religion. Those from across the Eastern Desert, Qing, are extremely loyal to their houses and will do anything to find the origin of immortality. Ling Yao and Mei come to Amestris for that exact reason. I didn't have to Google any of this. Ishval, Amestris, and Qing swell with authenticity and culture, and it makes the world that much more believable when the author cares. She was amazed by how diverse Europe was during the Industrial Revolution. What the fuck country do they live in The Rising of Shield Hero? Authenticity. That's what sets these worlds apart. But characters are your most dangerous tool in storytelling. Alex Armstrong had no idea serving his country would mean becoming a tool of indiscriminate death. Alex runs from that fate until he realizes that the only way he can atone for what he did in Ishval is to help Ed, Al, and the rest of the world.
That's right.
It took 29 episodes to piece that together. Ed and Al, their whole deal is that they want their bodies back. But as they dig deeper and deeper, they uncover a mountain of conspiracies that make them question the ethics of their journey. Is it right for us to pursue this thing when people around us are dying left and right? The characters are constantly evolving and adapting to the story every single episode.
Look at that
and the cogs start to
relationship.
turn. any pause when someone speaks, every time their eyes dart around the room, you take notice. What's up with the nation's King Bradley, Roy Mustang, Scar, Greed, Olivier? That's a fucking panda, like, what the fuck? As a kid, the one episode of Full Metal Alchemist I ever saw...
Before we get into this first episode, when he switches up about the characters, it's a risk that not a lot of anime can take. You know, and you see the influence in all these anime. Again, you know, I talk about isekai all the time, about how soulless it can feel sometimes, because they don't develop anybody. They give you a generic backstory that you can tell they don't care about. They don't design the characters really uniquely. They don't have any kind of growth. And the characters, even if they have some of those elements, don't have the ability to even do that. They don't even give them the range or the opportunity to. And you know it's not going to happen. So like all these things that we hype up in like CJ the Champ vids, the reason why CJ the Champ vids work is because they can take these ideas and just boil them down to the highlights and the hype, and we can enjoy it for what that is. Where when you watch the anime and you sit down and watch the whole season, it doesn't create this compelling diversity of emotion that, you know, these anime create. Wherein if you just bare bone it, it's, you know, build up and then hype and then the build down and then the build up and so forth with the exposition and everything. They all have that. But this show was willing to go into depth and create controversy with some of these emotions.
The one episode of Full Metal Alchemist I ever saw was, of course, the Chimera episode. And if you haven't seen the Chimera episode, here's a quick spoiler for episode 4, okay? Skip ahead 10 seconds if you don't want to see it. This is your last chance. Aw, what a cute girl.
Yeah.
Alexander says that he wants to play too.
Aw, what a cute dog. Oh, hello, satanic beast. Have you seen a little girl and a dog around?
Tragic, actually. I don't want to enjoy this video anymore.
Oh, the bitch turned into a dog!
That shit
So as a
was
kid, I thought-
different, bro. That shit was different. And let me tell you, my wife has got a shirt, and it's got them fusing together, her and the dog. And it's funny because when she saw the scene herself, she was also on the verge of tears and wanted this man dead. And that's the kind of range this show brings you to, and I enjoy it.
Thought, this show is fucked up. Stay away from that one and watch Chowder.
Right. Excellent show.
Sugar.
Like a medium amount. Watch a medium amount of Chowder. Watching this episode as an adult, on the other hand, is like, oh! Show Tucker is there to completely alter your sense of alchemy. It saves numerous lives, but the ugly part is what it takes from people. If used from another angle, alchemy is disturbing. This lesson reforges the resolve of the Elric brothers and stays with them as a source of strength for the rest of the series. My source of strength is provolone. It feels as if
Jeez.
every character matters. This guy influences the Elric brothers. The Elric brothers influence a fellow soldier. That soldier sets off a chain reaction that blows up wildly in scale and ends up influencing the entire story. You get the feeling that everyone is a domino piece being pushed along by some unseen enemy.
And also, they showed slightly this map. And the undertones of the show match the history, even if you don't hear about it all explicitly. And that's one of the building blocks of some of these shows that you also miss. You know, we talk about anime feats all the time. We try to ignore plot armor and things like that. But those things exist because this kind of work wasn't done first. They never built the underlying conflicts that exist in the world before they went to go answer the big questions that the characters have to answer. And that's how these characters can have emotion, they can have range, and they can have real impact on the world around them because there's a framework for all of it. And that's what we mean by a show is soulless or empty, because we see this example of a show that's not. Even though you're not watching these conflicts happen, they exist and they matter, and everything has to exist in the bounds of the fact that we're at war. You lose a big general or a lieutenant while you're at war, there's an impact of that. It's not just nothing, you know? You got two Elric brothers creating trouble, and you try to send them off north, they might start a coup. Like, things happen when things happen. You know what I mean?
In scale and ends up influencing the entire story.
That's
You
right.
get the feeling that everyone is a domino piece being pushed along by some unseen enemy. Plot is where you make use of these characters. I've thought long and hard about how to use pretty words and shit to tell you how I feel about Full Metal's plot, but I think this visual here I made does a pretty good job. Here's a standard anime. You got your beginning, climax, and your ending. Full Metal Alchemist is pretty much the same.
It is.
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
Many anime tell a good story, but none exactly like Full Metal. What I demonstrated earlier was the power of scale. We start off small, 2 guys go on one simple adventure, then we discover how evil alchemy can get and the story grows. Arakawa wants you to ask questions. What is alchemy? What is the Philosopher's Stone? Who did it now work for? And every answer tightens the story's grip on you. The author knew exactly what she was doing every step of the way. Characters don't just fast travel places. You'll notice people in the background taking the train or checking out a map. There's foreshadowing on the first episode that hints at the ending, and there's so many legendary moments in the show that are etched in anime culture because of it. Attack on Titan, Land of the Lustrous, Berserk, these are stories that combine an intimate knowledge of their characters with passionate, meticulous plotting. It elevates the writing from a good way to pass time to something that can make you feel deeply. Did I mention how good the fights are?
Do not cut that out. Let the rant continue. Oh man, I'm so mad at you right now. That's the thing. Like, it does all of those great things, and then we get to the action. It exists, and it's great, and it's very satisfying. Let's go, my boy Ed! Yeah.
Alphonse is fighting a guy and gets his leg armor cut off. What do you think he does? I'll give you a second.
Beats him with
He
it.
catches his foot, alchemies it into his sword, curves it around the bad guy, and flies around on a little fucking dragon. This is genius shit, and they don't even bring it up. It's just how they fight. Elaborate, flashy, and natural at the same time. The character design in the show is like, oh, sick. They made this character out of Italians. Unique. The character design is unique. You can actually tell characters apart. If you swap the hair on any 2 people, you'd still recognize them.
Facts.
You ever watch one of those videos where Japanese people try to guess the race of anime characters, but all the anime characters look the same, so they throw the wildest fucking guesses out there and don't even give a shit if it's right?
What? I kind of want to watch that. I kind of want to watch that, dude.
Huh.
I've never seen it.
You're fucking with me!
Yeah,
In Full
love
Metal,
it.
get this. Europeans actually look European. Ishvalans aren't just reskins of the white people. Asians look Asian. The music! Battle Scarzos, that powerful band that you want playing behind your back before a battle. A New Journey is a vibe that any anime could end on. Nice. Pretty. Just to get squashed by March of the Moving Dolls. Listening to this feels like the enemy force is closing in on you from all directions. Full Metal Alchemist is full of magic. It has so many lighthearted moments. It's so encouraging. It's like someone bottled up an adventure and trapped it in a TV screen. While at the heart of it, it's a story about fighting fate, not compromising, and getting shit done at the same time. This alchemy, the ability to completely conquer your expectations every episode and turn that into excitement, is what cemented Full Metal at the top of my anime list for a decade now. The sprawling plot lines, deep understanding of the characters, and relatable motives make it unlikely that any anime will take the throne.
I was
shit.
getting ready to talk about it, bro. But I would just like to say how much I love and enjoy this anime. I really love and enjoy the community. I love and enjoy you people. And there's other couple wrap-up thoughts that I have about, a couple stories I was thinking about of me and Skitten in the other show that we were watching. So make sure you check out the CJ the Champ video. We get into a lot of other kind of things. We love you guys. Good night.